House of the Dragon Season 3 is officially happening, and after the intense Season 2 finale, it looks like things are about to get even more dramatic. The last episode had quite a buzz, especially with some scenes leaking online before it aired. But now, it's out, and we're finally seeing how those dragon seeds will shake up Westeros. The renewal for Season 3 was announced back in June, and we've already had a few hints about what's coming next. If you're excited to find out what's in store for one of the hottest shows on TV right now, you're in the right spot. We've got all the details on the release date, cast, plot, and some exclusive tidbits from the creators. Plus, we'll dive into who the prince was that was promised in Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon, so stick around. But first, the latest news on House of the Dragon Season 3. The Targaryen civil war is really starting to heat up. With Season 2 wrapping up by setting the stage for future conflicts, it might not have been the most explosive finale in Game of Thrones history, but it sets things up nicely for Season 3. So what do we know so far? HBO has already confirmed Season 3, and the announcement came even before Season 2 premiered. Creators Ryan Condal and George R.R. Martin have hinted at a plan for around 4 seasons in total. Given how popular the show is for HBO, it's likely we'll get at least one more season after the third. Although there's no official date yet, it's likely that House of the Dragon Season 3 will drop sometime in 2026. Season 1 and 2 had about a 2-year gap between them, so we might see a similar break for the next season. Plus, HBO is set to release a new Game of Thrones spin-off, A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, in late 2025, which will cover Westeros content for that year. Without giving away any book spoilers, the ending of House of the Dragon's second season gave us some big hints about what's coming. Daemon is fully back on Team Rhaenyra, and they, along with their new dragon riders, are gearing up to storm King's Landing with overwhelming force. On the flip side, Team Green is all over the place. Alicent is dabbling in treason, Aegon is hiding out with Larys, and Aemond is causing chaos wherever he goes. Meanwhile, all the non-Targaryen houses in Westeros are gearing up for war, so it looks like Season 3 is shaping up to be pretty intense. Now, you might be wondering if you should read the book House of the Dragon, which is based on. I'd say read it. Diving into the Dance of the Dragons chapters in Fire and Blood will give you a good grasp of the main events House of the Dragon is covering. Plus, it won't spoil too much since the show adds a ton of extra detail to the story. Think of the book as a sort of extended trailer for the show, which can be a fun way to pass the time between seasons. With that out of the way, let's discuss the most interesting things in the whole world of Westeros, the question who the prince is that was promised in Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon. The prophecy of the prince that was promised was a huge topic throughout Game of Thrones, and many wondered how it would all play out. While Game of Thrones is based on George R.R. Martin's A Song of Ice and Fire series, the prophecy is much more central in the books than it was in the show. The HBO series famously skipped over a lot of important details, especially after Season 5, when they had to continue the story beyond the books. Even with the show's ending, there are still big questions about the prophecy. Fans mixed book lore with TV details to come up with their own theories. Now, with House of the Dragon diving deeper into the story, it's adding even more layers to the mystery. The prince that was promised prophecy hints at a hero destined to save the world from darkness, possibly the Long Winter or the White Walkers. The prophecy includes several key details. The hero will be born amidst salt and smoke under a bleeding star, will awaken dragons from stone, and will pull a sword named Lightbringer from flames to fight the darkness. While the TV show Game of Thrones barely touched on the prophecy, it was a big topic in the books, with many characters speculated to be the prophesied hero. Additionally, the Valyrian translation of the prophecy is gender-neutral, so the prince could be either male or female. There's also a line about the dragon having 3 heads, which has led some to believe there are 3 prophesied heroes. This fits with Daenerys' 3 dragons, suggesting the need for 2 more riders to protect Westeros. Although this idea is significant in the books, it wasn't explored in the TV series. Azor Ahai and the prince that was promised are often used interchangeably, but they have slightly different meanings. Azor Ahai is a term used by the followers of R'hllor, the Lord of Light, like Melisandre. This legendary hero is said to wield a burning sword called Lightbringer. On the other hand, the prince that was promised is a broader prophecy describing a hero who will come to save the world from darkness. It's likely that the prince that was promised is considered a reincarnation of Azor Ahai, which is why the two terms are often mixed up. While they are related, the distinction lies in their origins and specific details. In Game of Thrones, Jon Snow and Daenerys Targaryen are the two main characters often considered for the prince that was promised. Daenerys, as the daughter of Aerys Targaryen, is directly descended from Aegon the Conqueror. Jon, who was raised as a Stark bastard, is revealed to be Aegon Targaryen, making him part of the same bloodline. Despite his extensive battles and connection with the Night King, Jon doesn't end up killing the Night King, and Daenerys, although crucial with her dragons, turns into a villain in Season 8. Both Jon and Daenerys seem to embody the Song of Ice and Fire, but the show leaves it unclear whether either fully meets the prophecy of the prince that was promised. This ambiguity contributed to the disappointment of Season 8, as the prophecy seemed to lose its significance. However, with George R.R. Martin's books potentially following a different path, there's still a chance that the final two novels could address the prophecy in a more fitting way. In the finale of House of the Dragon Season 2, Daemon Targaryen's vision suggests that Daenerys might be the prince that was promised. The vision includes a White Walker, a Red Cornet, and Daenerys being born amidst salt and smoke, with a Targaryen eventually sitting on the Iron Throne. This could be a nod to Targaryen pride and their interpretation of events, but it doesn't confirm anything definitively. On the other hand, Arya Stark kills the Night King using Aegon's Valyrian steel dagger, which might hint that she is the prince that was promised. Melisandre's prophecy about Arya killing those with various eye colors adds to this theory. However, Arya has no connection to Aegon Targaryen's bloodline and doesn't meet most of the prophecy's criteria. It seems the showrunners chose Arya's role in defeating the Night King more for shock value and less as a resolution to the prophecy. Apart from Daenerys, Jon, and Arya, a few other characters were also considered as possible candidates for the prince that was promised. Melisandre believed Stannis Baratheon was the prophesied hero. He met some criteria, like being born amidst salt and smoke and having a sword called Lightbringer, though this was largely due to Melisandre's influence. While Stannis is a descendant of Aegon the Conqueror, he's not a full Targaryen, and Game of Thrones ended his story early. Rhaegar Targaryen is another potential candidate. As the son of the Mad King, he saw himself as the prince that was promised. Although he died before the main events of Game of Thrones, the book A Clash of Kings suggests he might have had some insights into the prophecy. We might get to know more about who the prince who was promised in the third season. For now, that's all. What do you think? Did the TV show handle the prophecy in a way that met your expectations? Or do you have your own theories about who the prince that was promised might be? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to hit the bell icon so you never miss an update from us. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.